Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. And today we haven't got a figure unboxing today. Instead, I'm going to just show you guys how to set up some really simple WWE moves with action figures. Yeah, I'm going to show you just a couple of setups that look really good, but they are actually really easy to make and to set up. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. Okay, so for the first setup, what you're gonna need is a Jey Uso. So I've just got this Elite Main Event Jey Uso. I'm gonna get a Jimmy Uso. Anyone really. I'm just gonna use this Ultimate Edition, but any Jimmy Uso you have, or yeah, whatever. I mean, you could use any Jimmy. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. And then I'm gonna grab a Gunther. Hang on, let me just grab him. Honestly, here he is. Got a Gunther here. This one. Again, it doesn't matter. He can be in a suit. He doesn't have to be in a suit. It really don't matter again. And then what you're gonna want is a handcuff. Yes, a handcuff. So what we're gonna do first is grab the Jey Uso, and on his right arm, you're gonna want to take off his hand and put on the handcuff. So see, the handcuff is on Jey Uso's arm. And now, you're going to want to come over to a corner, any corner you want, and take off the turnbuckle with the peg on. And you could leave it like this, but what I do is I just take off the cover of the metal turnbuckle bit, just because it fits better and it slides on and off easier. But you could leave it on, but I like to take it off. And then you just simply get the handcuff, slide it over there, and put that back. Click it back on, okay? So at the moment you've got your Jey Uso handcuffed to the ropes. And then I like to get him like on one knee, kind of. And then you're going to want to make him like reach out as far as you can make him reach. See that? Yeah. So just handcuffed, make him reach out as far as you can. You know what, actually, let's move this. Move the camera into the ring. I don't normally do this, but today is probably better with it in the ring. Okay. So now you're going to want to get your Jimmy Uso. And you're going to want to put his hands just up in the air like this. And get him on his knees, like bend both knees down. And get your Gunther. And I like to lock his hands. And then wrap the elbow around the Jimmy Uso head and right under the neck. And then make him look forward. So you're going to have it kind of like this. If you lift up the chin of Jimmy, he's got it under. Jimmy's struggling to breathe. And then get Gunther on one knee or something. And then look, you can just, I think you get the gist of it. You can just place a distance from where Jey really can't reach, so that Jimmy's got his hand so close to Jey, but he can't reach. If you actually want to elevate this even more, what you can do is grab a referee. I've got this custom referee that I use. I use the Eddie Guerrero from the SmackDown 4-pack, and just got this Build-A-Figure John Cone head on it. And then the t-shirt is from the Batista Top Picks, I believe. Was it Top Picks? That might be wrong, but it was one of those. And then you just want to get your referee and kind of literally trying to rip Gunther off of Jimmy, because Jimmy can't breathe. Can probably just put him like this. Yeah, there, that's a good one. Or if you really wanted to, you can just have him around his waist, trying to pull him, or he's like running over. And again, make sure Gunther is looking right at Jey. You just taunted him. There you go. So that is the first setup. This, to me, this looks really good. You got a Jimmy Uso in pain, Gunther choking him out, Jay trying to reach, handcuffed to the turnbuckle, then a referee trying to pull him away. I think that is a really good setup, and yeah, that is the first out of the few. Okay, for the next one, you're going to either want to do in front of a corner or in front of the ropes. I find it better. And you're going to need a Roman Reigns. Any Roman Reigns will do. CM Punk, again. Any CM Punk will do. I'm using both Ultimate Editions. And then I've got this Elite Seth Rollins here that you're going to want to need as well. Right, so you're going to want to get your Roman Reigns and put him on his hands and knees, basically. Just like that. And place him there. And then you're going to want to grab your CM Punk. And again, bend the knees. Arms out in front. Put them there. But try and make them like roughly the same level. Like the same level as each other. And then you're going to get Seth. I normally put his arms out a little bit. Bend the knees. And you can kind of see where I'm going. You've just got to get the balance right. And I'm going to try to not... There you go, see? He's not leaning on the ropes. You just saw me place him. No strings attached or anything. That looks pretty cool. And you saw how long it took me to do as well. So, it's not one of the harder ones. If you wanted, you can move Seth's foot a bit more up to the head, to be fair. Because at the moment, it just looks like he's stomping his back into the ground. But, again, yeah, simple but effective setup. It looks good. You could also get Seth, like, I don't know, standing on the middle rope. That's quite hard to set up, but if you balance it right, you could. Or if you moved him around like this, you could get Seth on the middle rope here. If it will let me stand it on there, which is really annoying. Yeah, oh, for God's sake, come on. Yeah, there. Standing on the middle rope. Getting ready to stomp both of them. Okay, so this next move right here, you're going to need a Cody Rhodes. And literally anyone. It doesn't matter who it is, anyone else. I'm going to grab this John Cena because they had a match at WrestleMania, but you could have anyone. So you're going to want to get your Cody Rhodes, lock his arms above his head. Just like that. Then get your John Cena, and you're going to want to put his arms like up a bit and bend his knees a tiny little bit. Just like this. And then get your Cody and put 1 foot up and 1 foot a little bit more back. I don't know if I just said that, but whatever. And then you obviously lock it in place. But I like to just lock it in place to where you don't have to hold the Cody. You can just hold the Cena and he balances, see? Yeah. And then here you're going to want to place his foot, kind of bend Cena's knees, and place Cody's foot on the top rope. There you go. Cody Cutter from the ropes. 1 foot on the rope. This foot isn't on the floor, by the way. I couldn't put my hand underneath. And then, yeah, no strings attached. You just saw me place it. Simple and a really good setup. So, yeah. Okay, I know I said I was just going to do easy setups, but this one it's a little bit challenging. But if you know what you're doing, then you can do it right. So you're going to need a Drew McIntyre. Any Drew McIntyre will do. Hang on. There we go. Any Drew McIntyre. And a Damian Priest or a Kane or an Undertaker. Literally anyone who does a chokeslam. So you can do Damian Priest. I prefer South of Heaven to a chokeslam. But if you prefer the chokeslam, you could do a Kane or something. And I always like to put a table in there because it adds to the hardcore of the setup. Okay, so I've just adjusted the camera as well. So now, hang on, if I stand here, yeah, I'm not in the way or anything. There we go, that's good. So what you're going to want to do is grab your Damian Priest and put him what hand would you do? With his right hand out to the side, looking a little bit right, and the other hand can just be like behind or going forward or anything. So he's in like this position. And then you're going to grab your Drew McIntyre and put this hand, like his left hand, over his neck, and the other one is going to go like this. And then you're going to want to bend his left knee a bit higher, so it is up a bit more, leaning back a bit. Then you want to grab your Damian Priest, and it's as simple as setting up a normal South of Heaven in a way. So just like that. And then you're going to kind of want to just balance them on... This one takes a lot of fiddling to do, so I might have to cut the camera. Sorry if you can't see as well, it's just this one is quite hard to set up. Or what you could do if that doesn't work, because mine is being really annoying at the moment, bend Damian Priest's foot forward and move the table forward a little bit, and just place that foot on the table. Yeah, let me move it forward a little bit more. There you go. So you can place Damian Priest's foot on the table. Drew McIntyre is on the middle rope. Like that. That foot on there. That one on there. That one. And then, yeah, you just got to kind of fiddle around until they stand. Mine is being a pain at the moment. So I'm going to cut the camera and come back once these are set up. Okay, there we have it. Finally, it just took about 5 minutes, to be fair. It's not as hard as you'd think it is. I have balanced Drew's foot on the back of the rope. And then obviously Damian Priest got half a foot on there, and his other foot is on the table. But yeah, no strings, no blue tack, no magical piece or whatever. So yeah, that is this one here. It looks pretty cool. You know, I don't normally do this, but why don't we just... South of Heaven through the table. Okay, so now you're going to want to keep the table. You can do if you want to. Put that there. You're going to grab a ladder. And you're going to want to put that one as far to that corner as you want. This table can go about here. Then you're going to grab... Alright, so I've got this chain made of paper clips. If you have a little chain, you can. I believe the wrecking truck came with a chain, which I have got, but just to show off, obviously not everyone's going to have that. So up here, I've got a little bit of tape, and obviously I'm going to take this off. That sucks, I just ripped the wall, but oh well, no one has to know. And under here goes your chain. Just stick that on. That's got to hold really good as well. Yeah, so that is going to need more tape. Where's my tape gone? Okay, so I've got my piece of tape, and I'm going to just stick that on the post for a second. Now, when you have your chain, this is why I use paper clips, you're going to grab the end one and just loop it and clip it onto any of the other ones. So I'd say... how many up should I do? I'd say that's good. So you've got a little hole in it at the end of your chain. I don't know if the camera's picking that up because it's so close. Now you want to get your tape. Put the tape to the top of the chain, the end without the loop. And stick it to the paper clip. And then I stick this to here. Obviously you don't have to use tape because it has ripped my wallpaper off the wall. But we're going to need to get new wallpaper anyway soon, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, if you don't want to rip wallpaper off, just use a less strong tape. The tape I'm using right now is this black tape. Yeah, one of those Gorilla tapes. So yeah, that's probably not the best idea on my behalf. But we move on. Then you're going to want to grab a title of your choosing. This is the LJC Hardcore title. It is Hardcore title, that's why it's all cut up and got scraps on it and stuff. So tell me what you think of this in the comments, actually. Because Josh doesn't like it. I think it looks really good for a Hardcore title. So we need a second opinion. Now, what you're going to want to do is get this hook, the loop that you made in there, and clip the title on. And I think you know what's about to go down. So if I move the camera down a bit more, you're going to grab any two figures. You could do Edge and Jeff Hardy. I have an Edge. I haven't got a Jeff Hardy. Josh has the Jeff Hardy at the moment. So that is a bit annoying. But who does a spear nowadays? Roman Reigns. I've already used Roman Reigns. So who does maybe one of the best spears ever? Mr. Braun Breaker. So we've got Braun Breaker here. And who shall I do it to? Let me have a think. Who would Braun Breaker do a massive spear to? I'm going to go with someone who used to do a spear that was personally not one of my favourite spears, Batista. This is a really good Batista, by the way. I definitely recommend it. So yeah, you're going to want to get your Batista in a position kind of like this. So look, he's getting speared, really bad speared. And you're going to want to lift one hand up. So that hand's going to hold on to the title. And then you're going to get your Braun Breaker and kind of place him around your Batista or whoever you use. And I like to do it so you can lock the hands. So hang on, let me just fiddle with this for a second. Okay, so I've got the hands locked. If you're going to want to do it like this, I would recommend using a skinnier figure or one with not as much muscle on him. I just dropped that. That's not good. And yeah, because the Batista is he's really muscly, so his torso is quite big. So it's really hard to lock the hands. I literally just struggled for like almost 10 minutes. I was thinking of changing the figure, but then we finally got it. So at least we got it now. Yeah, so you're going to make this, literally make it as tight as you can. Yeah, that's good. Alright, now let me lock his hand. And if it's still a bit loose, you can just put his head between his, put Batista's arm around Braun Breaker's head, or again, whoever you're using. And then this is why you wanted to make this strong, because you're just going to use the Batista and click him. Use his hand here to clip onto the title, and boom. Batista is now about to get speared the hell out of by Braun Breaker. Again, you saw no other strings to hold the Braun Breaker. He is just grasped around him. And then if you set it up just here, it looks like Braun Breaker has jumped off the ladder. And he's going straight through Batista. It doesn't look as good on camera, I don't think. In person, you can spin this, do whatever you want. There you go. Yo, he's going to spin back. Here he comes. There's the spin. There's the spear. Yeah. Table there. I think you get the gist of it. And then Batista's going to let go. And it's through the table he goes. Okay, so for the last one, I'm actually going to set up a move that I don't think has ever been done, like in wrestling either, but I thought it should always have been DX's tag finisher. So here are the DX figures, Shawn Michaels, and you want to grab a Triple H. I've got the shirt on the Triple H, but you can take it off. And then you want to grab any other figure to do the move to. Preferably one that's a bit stiffer joints. So I'm going to go for this Stone Cold here. This Stone Cold with the denim shorts on. And then basically, I'm going to take the shirt off Triple H because it'll probably be easier for you guys to see without the shirt. Right, so you're going to set up a pedigree. Pedigrees also should be quite easy to set up if they've got stiff joints. You're not going to be able to get the hands to lock. Like Stone Cold's hands are not going to be able to lock, by the way. So I just flick them out to the side. And then you're going to want to just stand him upright like this. And then you're going to want to just, oh god. Here we go. Stand up your Triple H. Stone Cold, stay still. I'm going to fix this and I'll catch you in a second. Okay, so we've got Triple H doing the pedigree now. And you're going to get your Shawn Michaels and get him in a Sweet Chin Music position. I do mine like this, so he's just looking where he's kicking and bang. And then I think you get the gist of it. You're going to want to lean Shawn Michaels kind of, or you don't even have to lean him. You can just stand him up if he'll balance there. So that is the pedigree Sweet Chin Music kind of move. If you want to add some more stuff into it, you can just chuck the t-shirt there. It looks a bit cooler. Yeah, and again, I do this all the time. If you want to add tacks, you can. That just knocked over, but it's fine. You can stand it back up. If you want to add tacks, so when, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Great, I shouldn't have done that. Okay, there we go. Super kick. Ready, bam. There you go. Sweet Chin Music, pedigree, DX, finishing move. Also, leave a name for it in the comments, actually. And if I do a stop motion with DX, I'm going to use this move. And whichever comment gets the most likes, I'm actually going to use that as the name for this finisher. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to check out the rest of the channel. We've got some more videos out, some more videos coming out today. Some figure reviews, and yeah, I might do another one of these videos because I feel like this is a really good idea. But yeah, let me know in the comments what figures you want to see. If there's any wrestling moves you want me to set up for the next video, also comment those. And yeah, please like, subscribe, comment to the channel as always, and I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.